We see headlines about massive lawsuits and market monopolies, but rarely the actual mechanics. This is EconWorks. We look past the talking points to where law, economics, and markets collide. Let's get into it.
We tend to think of the software industry as a pure meritocracy. The assumption is simple. If an independent developer sits down and codes a faster, smarter application, users will naturally find it, download it, and make it a success. But think about the computer you are using right now. How exactly did you acquire your everyday web browser, your default calculator, or your cloud storage drive? The reality is that the vast majority of us never actively shopped for those tools. We simply accepted the applications that were already sitting there on the desktop the first time we powered on the machine. This seamless, convenient user experience functions as the first step in a calculated strategy of market control. Consider Microsoft and its foundational product, the Windows operating system. Windows serves as the primary digital gateway through which billions of people interact with their computers every single day. Microsoft employs a practice called OS integration, where they simultaneously build the underlying platform and the complementary software that runs on top of it, everything from productivity suites to communication platforms. By competing against independent developers inside a digital environment that they entirely design and control, Microsoft creates a massive structural conflict of interest. Playing the role of both the arena and the gladiator is a specific architectural advantage. It is exactly this dual position that has placed the biggest tech companies at the absolute center of modern antitrust scrutiny. This diagram illustrates how integration physically works. Long before a computer is even sold to a customer, complementary software is pre-installed. This gives in-house applications an insurmountable head start in visibility over any third-party alternative. By baking these apps directly into the accessibility layer, the developer completely bypasses the massive user acquisition costs that independent creators have to pay to simply get noticed. Once you start using the device, default settings and aggressive system prompts actively dissuade you from exploring alternative software. You are captured by the system's defaults. In a closed digital ecosystem, whoever controls the default settings effectively controls the consumer's final decision. Capturing early users through these default settings is highly effective, but it is only the catalyst for a much larger, self-reinforcing mechanism. This dynamic forms a continuous feedback loop. Applications securing massive user bases through defaults automatically attract the software developer community. With limited resources, third-party developers prioritize building integrations and compatibility patches for pre-installed apps, going exactly where the users are. The default application becomes stronger and more entrenched over time. This happens regardless of its internal code quality, because the entire external ecosystem is economically forced to support it. Now shift the perspective to an independent developer, the market entrant. Imagine they coded a genuinely superior, competing application to introduce to the public. Locked out of OS integration, the entrant suffers limited visibility, leading to predictably low adoption rates. This is mathematically fatal. Without an existing user base, third-party developers refuse to spend time and money building compatibility features for the entrant's app. Denied that critical ecosystem support, the new software quickly becomes functionally obsolete, no matter how much original quality or innovation the developer poured into it. Operating system integration structurally guarantees market failure for outside competitors. It transforms an open, free market into a highly guarded walled garden. This playbook as bundling software and locking down digital ecosystems has defined and protected tech monopolies for decades. The macroeconomic reality of the modern software industry is stark. Surviving as a business today relies heavily on negotiating access to the underlying operating system, rather than strictly competing to build a better product. This hidden architecture silently starves global innovation. It ensures that the next major technological breakthrough might never be built, simply because it cannot survive the ecosystem's structural barriers. Systemic restriction of fair competition is the exact reason antitrust laws were written in the first place, and it is why platform operators are currently facing severe legal challenges across the globe. It leaves us with a critical legal and ethical question. Should platform operators be permitted to influence adoption through integration? The next time you open your laptop, remember that the applications waiting on your screen are not necessarily a gift of convenience. They are active mechanisms of corporate control.
Thanks for watching. For the deep dive economic analysis behind these stories, join us at econworks.com. Subscribe to stay informed on where law and economics meet the market. We'll see you in the next episode.